Welcome. Just stop if you like and take a nice deep breath. Good morning. It's lovely to connect with you today. My name is Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, and it's Monday morning here, the 28th of May, and it's exactly 10:32 a.m. So, I trust that you're feeling good and you had a good flowing weekend and that you're in a good space right now. If you're not, it's important to be honest about it. If you're struggling, hey, I'm struggling. Sometimes when we admit that to ourselves, things start improving. Have you noticed that? It works for me. Hey, I'm struggling, I need help. Things start moving. I start feeling better already. So, don't resist the fact that you may be struggling. Not going to be all happy and love and light at every second. So I do trust, though, if you have been struggling or if you are right now, that you do receive some support from our this video today, or that you do notice some improvement in your life really soon. So thanks for joining me today. Extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. You help me be able to bring my videos out to you and my work out to you and others, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. If you're new to watching, welcome. Hi again, Susie and Nat and Francine. Suzanne's here too. If you are new to watching, welcome. What I'm going to be doing today is using my Speed of Light Oracle cards, and I'm going to be looking for the best card for Monday the 28th of May, then the best card for Tuesday the 29th of May, and then the best card for the theme for Monday and Tuesday. I am not doing personal readings here today. This is general guidance for everyone, so I trust that you've been led here for a reason. And I also trust that something shared will be helpful and supportive for you. So just take on board what feels right for you, what resonates, what makes sense to you, and let the rest go. Not everything's probably going to make sense, and that's okay. You don't need 100% of what I shared to be relevant to you in your life for it all for the small amount that does make sense to be relevant in your life. Does that make any sense? Probably not. What I'm saying is don't discount the things that do make sense if not everything does. Not everything is going to make sense. In fact, it'd be a very rare occasion that you resonate with 100% of what I'm saying, because I'm bringing through guidance for the collective. Sometimes we're not a part of that experience at that particular time. If that makes sense. I don't know. I think I'm probably overcomplicating things. But anyway, let's get started and pull some cards. So I'm now looking for the best card for Monday, the 28th of May. If it's not Monday for you yet, then you're in my past. But are you really? Because I'm speaking to you now. No, if it's not Monday for you yet, you can think of this as guidance in advance. So I'm just shuffling my deck and holding the intention to find the best card for Monday, the 28th of May. And I trust 100% the best card that will be the most helpful for the majority of us will find its way to the top, which is right here. So the best card for Monday for the majority of us is this. Oh, we've got the Dolphins card, the Sensuality. It's a featured card. So it says here, further instructions, which say to breathe deeply and choose a random card. So without thinking, I grab that. Oh, Rosemary. Ooh. Okay, we've got these two cards for Monday. So they've come up together for a reason. I'm going to look at them separately and then we're going to look at their relationship together. So first of all, we have card 46 called Sensuality, or the Dolphins. And the key words here say love, breath, relationship, and passion. This is talking about breathing life back into ourselves again, and perhaps life back into our relationships that have become a bit stale or stagnant, or I want to use the word deflated. If we've been feeling deflated, if our relationships, or especially our primary relationship, has been feeling deflated, then it may be worth thinking about on Monday, how can we reinflate life again? How can we reinflate or reignite passion and purpose again, not only in ourselves, but perhaps in our relationships? Relationships of any kind, but maybe especially our primary relationship or our relationship with our lover, if we're in a relationship of such a type. So how can we get back into our life again? How can we get back into our relationships again? Now, relationships are interesting because they're always two-sided, aren't they? There's only so much effort that we can make if it's not being met on the other side with equal effort or some effort. It can be very exhausting to put such effort into something that's just very stagnant, perhaps. So it might be worth looking at, okay, if I can't reignite this, if I've been making an effort and it's just not working, what other changes do I need to make or to help create a situation or a space that I feel happy about? If we're always making an effort that's not been met on the other side in a relationship, it can be extremely, what would you say? We can just stoop down to a low level about it, can't we? If our efforts aren't being met. But with that aside, let's think about how we can reignite our passion again for life. Have we been feeling flat, deflated, or stuck? Let's look at taking some deep breaths and really looking at what can we do to reinflate our life. Now, some keys to that, if you haven't received any already, may be connected with this card. This is Rosemary card 20, and the key words say beauty, self-love, kindness, and balance. She's like the self-love card. So she talks about our personal role and our personal relationship with ourselves. So if this card doesn't resonate with you as far as your relationships or relationships in your life, then it's most likely talking about your relationship with yourself. She represents ourselves, and this talks about relationships or breathing passion into something that's become stale. So Monday feels like an extremely supportive day to reconnect with who we are and to find again, or perhaps discover, if we haven't found it much before, who we are, why we're here, what we're passionate about, what our likes and our dislikes are. We are allowed to not like things. We don't have to like everything. We don't have to sprinkle flower petals around every situation. There are things that we don't like, things that we don't resonate with. That's what makes us a person. You know, I feel that sometimes we tend to think that we should like everything, but we just don't. So what are our likes? What are our dislikes? What are our values? What are the things that we like to live by? Our values, our truth. They will help. All those things will help you and help all of us, including myself, uncover more about who we are so that we can love and accept ourselves. So if things have been stale in parts of your life, perhaps even in relationships, you might be surprised to learn that it most likely comes back to your lack of, or to the lack of self-love that you have about yourself, the lack of love you have towards you. How can you allow other people to love you if you're not loving yourself? For me, it's become such a priority for me to love and accept myself and really get to know myself more. What makes me tick? Why do I do that? Why does that irritate me? Why does that inspire me? And really get to know myself. We are the one constant in our life. We are the one that's going to be there our whole life's journey in this physical body anyway. So why do we fight with ourselves? Why do we treat ourselves like we're some type of enemy instead of being our best friend, our best supporter, and really getting to know who we are? The more we do those things, the more we can be of a help to others and those that we love and care for. So we've been encouraged on Monday to treat ourselves more kindly, to think about how we can increase our sense of passion and purpose in life. How can we feel better about ourselves? How can we feel better about ourselves? What can we do? Let me just think about some things that we might do. If I'm feeling low about myself, what might I do? If I'm feeling low about myself, I will usually go straight to the hot bath. I will sprinkle in some Epsom salt and some borax and some lavender oil and coconut oil, and I'll just veg out in the bath and put on some nice music and just relax and think about, okay, how have I been too hard on myself lately, and how can I treat myself more kindly? How can I treat myself like I would treat the person I love the most in the world? If I was looking at the person I love the most and wanted to treat them like they were king or queen to me, how could I treat myself the same way? So I would do some things that are nourishing to me. I would make some time for me to do things that I enjoy, that's probably got nothing to do with anyone else. I might go for a walk in nature. I might look at starting a new hobby, something to give me something to look forward to every day or every week, something to wake up for. If we don't feel we're waking up for something, then life just becomes a drag, an ongoing drag, and it increasingly drags. So I just feel it's so important to give ourselves purpose and a reason to get up each day or something to look forward to each week. So starting a new hobby, taking a skill to the next level, doing some creative projects or working on some projects, something that gives us value for life, personal value, nothing we seek validation from or we need other people's approval for, but something that we just want to do for us. They're the types of things I would do if I'm in a low space about myself. So that's the guidance for Monday. I trust it makes sense to you. Revival in relationships, but especially in our relationship with ourselves. It's extremely important. Extremely important, especially if we're helping other people a lot. We need to balance that with helping ourselves, I've noticed. So, thank you so much. Let's now look for the best card for Tuesday, the 29th of May. Tuesday the 29th. And we'll go with this card for Tuesday. Ooh, we've got another featured card. And this is Lizard. He has further instructions here, which say take the third card from the top of the deck. So I'm going down to this card. Pause. Wow, this is interesting. Okay, let's look at these guys separately. And then we'll look at their relationship together. Like I said before, these have come up together for a reason for Tuesday. So let's have a closer look at them. This is Lizard, card 3. And it says optimism, appearances, delusion, and illusion. He usually comes up saying that things may not be as they seem on Tuesday. If we're signing a contract on Tuesday, we might want to look at the fine print. If we're trying to be sold something that might be used, we might want to look under the hood or look closer at the mechanics or the details of things. And this card's not necessarily saying that it's not a good deal, but we'd do best to look at the fine print and look below what's been presented to us on the outside. So let's look past the appearances. If we find, for example, something dodgy about a used car that's been trying to be sold to us, we might be able to knock a little bit of money off the price tag, for example. So let's just look below the surface of things on Tuesday. Lizard, I feel too, with this particular card and for this particular day and this particular message, feels like we might be guided to do some letting go and some releasing of stuff that we've been holding on to. It's always a good time to do that every day. I'm always letting go of stuff that I'm holding on to, just as habit, if you like, as part of my self-healing journey. But especially on Tuesday, if things are building up or banking up, or if we're being quite affected by stuff, we might really find benefit in allowing ourselves to let go and not allow things to affect us quite so deeply or quite so personally, perhaps. Now, this other card here is card 25, called Pause. I do love this card. Its keywords say hold, time, transition, suspension, and limbo. This is talking about taking a break. It's talking about pausing, putting things on hold for a little bit. It may be for part of Tuesday, it may be for a short amount of time on Tuesday, it may be all day, it may be ongoing for a few days or a few weeks. But we've been guided to put the pause button on Tuesday and either give ourselves time to mend, to reflect, to heal, or perhaps we don't have much choice. Quite often when this card comes up, it's not like we necessarily have the choice to that the red lights turned on something in our life. We might find that on Tuesday something just reaches a pause, or we feel like we're in a space of limbo, like we're in between things. It's not usually a very comfortable place to be in, but it's necessary quite often. It's like the winter time of the seasons of the year, and that time where a lot of the trees and plants move into hibernation and into pause. It is a necessary part of our journey and the cycles that we go through. So we might be feeling that on Tuesday. Time, it might be feeling a bit warped. We may feel just a little bit restless, a bit like we're in limbo. So let's just use our time wisely to mend, to heal, to reflect, perhaps to let go, and allow ourselves to shed the old skin so we can prepare to move forward. So even though the red light might be on, there is still plenty we can do while we're waiting, while we wait for the green light to turn on again. So that's the guidance for Tuesday. I trust that makes sense to you. You won't know, I guess. None of us have gone into Tuesday yet. So we will see what happens on the day. So now I'm looking for the best card for the theme for Monday and Tuesday. This will help us bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture for Monday and Tuesday. So let's see what the theme is. How are you all feeling? I trust that you're doing good. So we'll go with this card for the theme. We've got Archangel Michael, card 1. This is the first card in the deck, so it talks naturally about new beginnings and new phases of our journey starting up. These can be quite literal, like actually changing or starting a new chapter in our life. I kind of get this feeling like it's very personal, most likely for many of us, that we're personally stepping into new phases of ourselves, new ways of treating ourselves, new ways of living, new ways of dealing with our attitude or shifting our attitude that might not be nourishing to us or others at this time or any longer. So the key words down here say truth, protection, boundaries, and courage. He's reminding us to keep our boundaries strong and clear over Monday and Tuesday. Let's be careful we don't overload ourselves by committing to a ton of things that we in truth don't have time for and perhaps don't even really want to be doing. So we might have to say no to things over Monday and Tuesday just to keep things simple and keep things in a space that we're comfortable with. A lot of us have been extremely busy lately. In fact, busy feels like busy all year. Gee, it's been hectic, hasn't it? So finding time during our pause time, for example, the cards that came up for Tuesday can be a great opportunity to secure our boundaries and keep things simple for a little bit before things get hectic again. So we can use that time to kind of catch our breath, if you like. So let's not fill our pause times, our time of catching our breath, with a ton of stuff, which is something that I do tend to do, I must admit, because I don't have a lot of, well, I have a very balanced days, but I'm a very busy person. So when I have half an hour or an hour of a pause, I will usually fill it with a ton of stuff that I've been wanting to do. So I know for me personally what this is talking about. It's just saying, okay, give myself the space. If there is a break, pause time, let it be a pause. Let it be a time of doing nothing much. Let it be a time of taking a break. Let's give ourselves that space if that's what we need to do. That's what I need to do. Maybe you do too, maybe you don't, and that's okay. With that aside, this card's talking about our boundaries. Have they become unhealthy lately? Have we been loosening and softening our boundaries and really giving too much of ourselves that it's taking its toll? Monday and Tuesday may be an opportunity for us to look at our boundaries, start reinforcing parts, breaking parts down that aren't healthy any longer, putting new parts up so we can create a healthy boundary. A boundary is much different than a defense. If we have to barricade ourselves behind castle walls, then we're creating defenses, and they're more what I would call an unhealthy boundary. Usually our defenses, if we need to barricade ourselves around castle walls or big walls of any type, then we might be trying to run away from something. We might be in a wounded space. We might be taking things too personally that may be putting us down and then making us feel like we've got to barricade ourselves behind these walls with our weapon there, ready to attack anyone that challenges our defenses. So we might be very reactive rather than responsive if our boundaries aren't healthy and they've become defenses. So break down your defenses. They're not healthy boundaries. And think about, or what I think about with boundaries is something more natural, something more healthy, like the boundaries of an island where the land meets the sea, and creating more boundaries that are healthy, that are adaptable and are adapting to how we feel in each moment, rather than something that's based on our wounds or our hurt that we might still carry inside. So just notice if you've been defending or a bit overly defensive or a bit reactive lately. You might be defending yourself against behind unhealthy boundaries. So just recognize it, break those walls down, look at why you've kept those walls in place perhaps. Look at breaking them down so you can create more of a healthy environment for yourself to live by each day. Because if you're barricading yourself behind these defensive walls, something that someone says very innocently can be blown out of proportion because you're in defense mode constantly. So let the defense mode go. You don't need to be defensive. You're not living in the times you used to live in. You know, when in perhaps an old relationship I want to go to the word abused, but I don't particularly like to use that, but that's the word that's coming to mind. Let's say in a previous relationship you were abused in some way, and as a result, to survive, you created these walls to defend yourself behind so that you could protect yourself from not being hurt. And you might have put those defences up very validly at a certain point in your past, but you reach a point like perhaps now, where those defenses don't serve your highest truth. They don't serve any type of purpose except holding you back. You're in a different situation now. Hopefully, you're in a different situation and you don't need those defenses up now, and you don't need to be defending yourself constantly. So let those unhealthy boundaries go and think about how you can create or establish or rebuild or dissolve boundaries that don't serve your highest truth any longer. I am safe, I am protected. My boundaries nourish me and my priorities and my schedule and my values. I'm not going to commit to something that does not agree with my values. That's why I don't advertise people on my Facebook page, because that doesn't resonate with my values. So I create boundaries around that. I create boundaries around not doing personal readings on my videos. That's another boundary that I create for my own sanity. So, we create boundaries based on what we learn and what we go through. Are they healthy? Are they not? That's up to us to decide. So I trust that makes sense. That's our theme card for Monday and Tuesday. Boundaries, pretty much. How are our boundaries looking? Let's also remember to allow ourselves quiet space. If we have the opportunity, if the stop button is pressed or the pause button and we have the opportunity to just do nothing much, let's embrace doing nothing much. Let's not fill it with all the stuff that we have to do. Let's just enjoy a bit of slow time if we have the opportunity. So that's the guidance. I trust it resonates with you. If it doesn't matter. Just let it go. I have used my Speed of Light Oracle cards today. These have been created by me. If you want to learn more about them or add them to your collection, please have a look on my website. They've been created independently from my heart, not for the market. There is a big difference. Another one of my boundaries and values. So thank you so much for connecting today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you want to connect more privately, just send us a message through our website. I have some new pendants just released over the weekend. Not this one, this is my personal one, but there are some other new ones. Please have a look if you're inspired to, or if you've been waiting for some new pendants. I've also got a few raku pieces of ceramics that came out of the kiln yesterday that I will be putting up on the website hopefully today. If not today, it will be on Thursday. If you want to learn more about the work that I do, please visit my website at templeofbalance.com.au. I've got heaps of different resources. If you resonate with my work and my way and my quirky approach, you might find some benefit from some of my resources there. So please check them out. And you're also supporting my work, which I extremely value and am very grateful for. So thank you. What do I need to say? We've got another healing event on Thursday, our 4th healing event for patrons. So if you want to get on board with that, there are still spaces left. So have a look on my Patreon page at Temple of Balance on Patreon. You can find that through my website. It's a $15 exchange, which also includes a month in the Pillar of Light family, plus some dedicated healing time for you, where I actually connect with your energy. So that's on Thursday. I think that's really all I need to say. Have a fantastic couple of days. I actually am going to enjoy, my Tuesday is going to be a break day. I already planned that last week. So Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be very laying low for me. So I'm going to schedule a few posts on Facebook and basically be just stepping back a little bit and just enjoying a few days break before we hit the new month and I get into fulfilling my work commitments again for June. So thank you, and sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. I really trust that you've enjoyed our time together today and that you have a fantastic couple of days ahead. So I'll be back to share with you again soon. Thank you and namaste. Namaste means that the divine, the creator within me, honours and acknowledges the divine, the creator within you, that we are equal, we are one. Thank you so much, and namaste to you. Thank you.